I really appreciate my friends here on YouTube and my subscribers here on YouTube, and I'm sort of regretful that I've had to focus on some of the more negative things that I feel need to be dealt with. I don't think can be ignored, at least not in my circumstance, not with my particular mission. And so I've been trying to build this sort of bridge for the people with the worldviews who are not so much of the light, that don't have the more illuminated understandings that I'm so fortunate to have sort of stumbled upon or been blessed with in some sense. And so I really appreciate the kind comments and the kind words and all of that from my friends here on YouTube. And I wish I had more time to make videos that were more in your interests, and actually more in my personal interests rather than in the interest of the whole, which I feel like that I've been working in sort of extending this bridge to the scientific community that will make them reconsider their reductionist worldview, their, in my opinion, flawed religion. And so that is going pretty well with the earthquake forecasting being close to product. And as far as the Institute goes in general, I have quite a bit of plans. I have quite a few offerings that I would like to make, both to the scientific and to the spiritual communities. As I said in the original vision statement, it hasn't changed. My vision for the Institute hasn't changed at all. But it's sort of gotten commandeered. My time has gotten commandeered by this discovery, and I feel like it's very, very important that I be working on this. And so I appreciate your patience. You subscribers and my friends here on YouTube are just like, what the hell? I totally understand. Don't be afraid. Please don't be afraid. Let go of your fear. I know that some of the stuff that I'm dealing with is scary. I try not to be afraid. I am frequently show my anger, and I don't think that anger is an unhealthy thing. I think that anger is an important thing. I want to follow up also with dogma. Astrotometry is dogma. It's just another dogma. It should be replaced in time when we come up with better explanations for things and better understandings of things. And so while I think it's going to be incredibly useful and makes it provides this bridge between spirituality and science, I think that it's it's going to be a path rather than a destination. And so that's one of the reasons that I've been very, very reluctant to finalize any sort of text on it, or even formalize a math for it. That's much, much later down the road. And I do want to do that. I do think that would be a good thing to do. And eventually the mathematics, I think, will fall out of the necessity for the particular applications for the theory. There's math that's already implied by the relationship between the speed of the incoming particles, which I've been using the conventional solar physics. Anybody that's confused on the flip-flop I do between the conventional worldview, the theoretical three-dimensional solar model, and the hypertime models is generally abstracted from the core weather analysis of the CME effects and stuff like that. The hypertime understanding the movement of matter with a chronocentric model, I usually completely abstract that, just because it's such a challenge. It explains why these things are how they are, but it's not practical right now to use that sort of analysis for these sorts of problems. although all of my directions for my research has come from the hypertime analysis. So the hypertime analysis gives you a way of understanding what to look at and how to look at it. And so that's been my method on that. And I realized that a lot of my subscribers just totally glaze when I start talking about astrotometry and the details of astrotometry, which is fine. A lot of the things that I put in my vlogs are for the future anyway. A lot of times I'm not even talking to anyone in particular, but I'm talking to the future. And I think that what Matthew Siegel says about YouTube is sort of like praying, this public prayer. I think that's a very interesting way to look at it. I went to my the place that I was headed today for my this is actually a dual purpose journey today. There's a place here in this reserve, that this park, that is a sort of sacred place that I was shown by the earth. The earth just leads me around, and so I went there today because of the timing. And I think I told Justin, and they may have mentioned it to one other person. There's a sort of light work that I do that is taking the lighter path here. There's a sort of light work that I do that I don't share on YouTube, and I think it was the Pathless Path who said that we should make a sort of channel or get a discussion going about our practices. And I have very, very detailed, very, very regimented ritual practice that I do that involves some fairly deep spiritual work that I don't feel comfortable sharing on YouTube, and it's unfortunate. It's true though. I have many things that I think are probably still best left in the realm of personal contact, which I've sort of foregone. I've foregone my contact. I've hermeticized in order to be able to do the work that I'm doing right now, which is a source of a lot of pain right now, not having contact with certain people that I would really like to have contact with, and certain sorts of people who I'd really like to have contact with, which Mother Nature is a nice consolation. But the place that I went to today, where I was being drawn to do my earthquake energy work, when one of these events, when we're in one of these periods of temporal shifts, there's places that can be used as navigation points to stabilize the temporal matrix. It is what it is. That's how it works. And so I was headed there, and someone else was already there doing it. They had that one covered, and so I went to a higher ground. I'll hit that place on the way back, but I thought that was so fun. And I went up there, and she said that she was involved with prayer, a prayer service, and I stood there for a while and listened, and she was just communing with the spirits, the spirit of the earth, basically. Speaks to people there. And I think, Joe, I took you there once. And so yeah, they got that covered. I didn't think that I was really, I didn't think I was going to be capable of doing what sometimes I don't feel like I'm capable of doing, what God asks, and what the world asks of me. And so I sort of had bowed out of that gracefully, and try to do what I can do, know my limits. And so that was kind of interesting. That was refreshing to see that going on. There's a lot of other sorts of things that are energetic right now that are happening in the world that are very disturbing. Governments being overthrown, people rising up, and all sorts of turmoil. It seems that the United States is sort of on the menu for that, and somebody might be ordering that up soon here, and that's a little disturbing. Trying to look forward, look past what might be coming down the pike, and see that what I'm doing, the work that I'm doing, is the more important part of that. And so hopefully everything will work out. And well, I think that's going to be all for now. Take care. Love y'all.